Hey, this is Jamey with Stonemaier Games, and today I'm going to talk about my favorite game mechanism in Marvel Champions, which I had the pleasure of playing at game night a few nights ago. I played as Iron Man, one of my favorite Marvel characters. Over the course of the game, I had my own unique deck, so I was building an Iron Man suit. We were all cooperatively fighting Rhino in a four-player game, and I had fun. There are a lot of little really cool things in this game. I'll mention a few of them really quick and then get to my favorite mechanism. I like the deck creation aspect of the game. That part of it, setup was a little cumbersome, but that part of it was pretty smooth. We basically combined a character deck, a basic deck, and like an attribute deck. Mine was leadership, I believe, in the game that I played. You just shuffle all those cards together to form your deck. I can see that adding a lot of variability to the game. And it was fairly easy to set up and clean up that portion of the game. I liked that the enemy had two different ways to win. One was, let me see if I can actually remember them. I knew that we were trying to reduce the enemy's health to 0, and the enemy would win if he accumulated a certain amount of these triangular tokens. Obviously, that was a little bit abstract, and I can't even actually remember now that I'm saying this, the other way the enemy can win. Maybe if we all died? I'm not sure. But I think there were two ways for the enemy to win, and I like that in cooperative games. The other thing is, this was almost my favorite thing, even though it's a really small touch, but we had these, I think in the game, there were like 4 characters, and the person who brought the game had a few other extra characters that had their own decks, but also in these decks, you have all these allies that show up to help you, and they're other famous characters. I think I had Vision show up in my deck. I had Maria Hall, I think, or Maria Hill is right there on the table as well. So all these other characters from the comic books, ranging from kind of side characters like Maria here to main characters like Vision. I like that even though I wasn't playing as them, that they did pop up and show up and help out. That was really cool. My favorite aspect of the game, though, in fact, I don't have quite a photo of it here, but each of us had a core character card that was double-sided. In one side, you are the hero. I'm full suited up Iron Man. And on the other side, you are just the alter ego of the character. So I'm Tony Stark on one side. I start out as Tony Stark, and on my turn, I can choose to flip over the card once and flip over and become the other side. And this added this little touch added a lot to the game because it meant that each character had essentially 2 different sets of special abilities with strengths and weaknesses to both. So on my alter ego side, I can't attack. I'm just a human walking around, but it also means that the enemy isn't really interested in fighting me. So I can flip to that side. I can heal. I usually have another special ability. For Iron Man's case, I could draw more cards. Or Tony Stark's case, I could draw more cards. And the Rhino wasn't interested in attacking me, and so he couldn't hurt me if I'm on my alter ego side. Whereas on the other side, I'm really powerful. I'm a superhero. I can go fight the bad guy. I can use my suit that I was building over the course of the game. But I started out really weak as Iron Man. I could only have, I think my hand size was 1. And that hand size would get bigger as I built my suit. It kind of represented my power level in the game. And I really like that little thematic touch. I think each of the characters had something like that, and each of the heroes had different abilities that correspond to those heroes. So there's a lot of interesting choices as to like when you want to flip that card, when you want to flip kind of back and forth from round to round, and how it impacted the villain. Just a lot of like little cool touches and thematic touches on that little double-sided character card. I thought that was really, really cool. So if that reminds you, if that core mechanism of the double-sided character cards reminds you of another game, I think Sentinels in the Multiverse does have double-sided cards, but the backside just represents when you are weakened, when you're exhausted. So if that reminds you of another system like that in another game, I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Or if you have a different favorite mechanism in Marvel Champions, I'd love to hear about that as well. Thanks.